Hello and welcome back to the O-Snap podcast hosted by us, the duo. For anyone new here, my name is Vincent.
And my name is Reese, and today we are going to talk about our weekend.
Oh, snap. So, to start, we left on Thursday, about 1 o'clock. We drove 6 hours to
Laughlin, Nevada.
Laughlin. How did you like the drive?
Horrible.
It was pretty bad. We left at 1. We were expecting to drive about 3 hours, and it took about 6 hours.
And it doesn't help that our maps, because of where Laughlin is, it's on the border of Arizona where there is a time difference. So our maps kept changing what time we'd get there. And there was accidents on the freeway. So we were trying to use 2 different maps, and it
took a lot longer than expected. So,
just a tad.
But I mean, it made for fun. We stopped at a couple places, and we stopped at a candy place. It's like Eddie's World or whatever, something world. And then we stopped at a alien beef jerky place. And we stopped at, where else did we stop at? We stopped one more place.
Burger King.
Burger King. Got to stop at Burger King on the way.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. So we got to Laughlin. Relaxed the rest of the time. And then the next day we drove to...
Well, we didn't just relax. We also went into Arizona that night.
Oh, yeah. We had to go in Arizona. We had to go to Walmart. We had to get a couple things that we forgot.
Got Sonic. I got a dirty Diet Coke. And
that got absolute everywhere. So if you do go to Sonic and you get the dirty Diet Coke, make sure that it does not overflow and go absolutely everywhere.
And we also went to Taco Bell. It was the worst service we've ever received in our entire life.
Don't go to Taco Bell in Bullhead, Arizona. It's not it.
Not it.
After that, the next day we drove to Las Vegas.
Viva!
Which is about 1 hour and 30 minutes away from Laughlin. Just by going there. On the way there, it's an hour and 30 minutes. 77 miles.
We saw a lot of, what are those called?
Solar panels. The millions of them. Tens of millions of solar panels.
Nevada is covered in them.
Covered. When we got there, we went to a couple places. Couple suspect places, in my opinion.
We took my dad on this trip, and one of the main reasons he went is he had like certain things that he's been dying to go see in Vegas. And so that's why on Friday we went to Vegas and kind of went down his checklist. Some places were quite interesting.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know if you guys follow us on our social media, but there was a pizza that was, the crust was black.
Black dough.
And it was not, it was terrible. I'll be honest.
The
taste was good. If you were blindfolded and you tasted it, you'd love it. If you looked at it and then tasted it, you hated it because you eat with your eyes first. And it was an interesting experience. I'm glad we did it, but I'm happy
The workers there were really nice.
The workers are very nice, but I'm happy to never do it again. Very happy.
Yes.
And on top of that, I had, if you guys don't know, the movie Terrifier. The Terrifier guy was looking directly at me the entire time, which made me kind of freaked out because I don't like Terrifier. So, but
that was interesting.
After that, we went to Raiders Stadium.
Unfortunately, my dad is a Raiders fan.
Yeah. That's all right.
So that was on his bucket list, and I have to say it was massive.
It was a really cool place. He said it was like a spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So he got a couple pictures in front of that.
We drove down the strip.
Which is
Didn't get out.
Didn't get out because there were tens of thousands of people there. Apparently that Sunday they were having some marathon where people are running.
That's what people do on marathons.
That's what they do on their weekends. They want to go and run. I don't know what they're running from, but they want to go and run.
That's what Brittany did this weekend. My aunt
fantastic.
ran a marathon this weekend.
Good for her. It's for certain people. It's not for me, though. I can't run.
So we drove down the strip, and then we went to Fremont.
Fremont, which is
Suspect.
It's got some interesting characters.
We went to Fremont. What was it? 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Loved it.
Yeah.
This time it was.
I mean, it's cool. Like you get to see all of the cool shops, and they have some characters. They also have Little White Castle.
White Castle.
Oh, sorry, my bad. They have a White Castle.
White Castle.
That Tony tried for the very first time.
I'm so mad at him about that. He ruined my White Castle experience.
Yeah, he went. Okay, so if you go to White Castle, you just have to get the cheeseburger. You get the cheeseburger. It has the grilled onions on it, the cheese, the meat, the bun. That's it. There's no pickles. There's no mustard.
I had to ask for mine without pickles.
No, the original
And I got
doesn't.
yours without pickles too.
I didn't know that. So he got it with no cheese because he doesn't like cheese, but he'll eat a whole cheese pizza. He got it with the grilled onions, even though he doesn't like onions at all. But then he added ketchup and mustard. He tasted it and he said that he wasn't the biggest fan of it.
Well, I should also add that he was like pretending to like he was gonna throw up
Yeah.
before he even tried it, and I can't deal with people that do that because then I feel like
No.
I'm gonna get sick. So my whole experience eating that was ruined because I was thinking about throwing up,
Oh, snap.
even though I love White Castle.
Oh, it was good. I loved it. I loved my White Castle. It was good.
It was all right.
After that,
Thanks,
we
Dad.
drove about 20-ish minutes to Nelson's Custard, which is a ice cream shop a little whiles away from where we were at.
In the opposite direction
yeah,
of where
no,
we had to
yeah.
go home in Laughlin.
It was good, though. It was really good. I liked
We
it.
got
It was
apple pie
Yeah.
concrete. That's what it's called.
concrete.
They literally put a piece of apple pie in the ice cream and then blend it.
Oh, snap.
It was really good.
I loved it. After that, we drove an hour and a half back.
No, it was an hour and 50 minutes back.
Hour and 50 minutes back to where we were staying in Laughlin. And then we had to get ready because the next day we had a wedding at the Little White Chapel.
We also didn't mention that day your family all got in.
Oh, yeah, my family came in on that day, yeah.
And we all were in rooms right next to each other except for one sister. But
Yeah,
this is my first McFall family vacation,
a lot of fun.
which is very exciting.
Sorry, I had to burp.
So his family did come in on Friday. His sister was already there on Thursday, so we got to spend time with her then. But
Yep.
on Friday, the rest of the family came in. And Vincent got to see his little best friend.
Yes, sir. And we had to make sure that everything was charged. All the cameras were charged. All the batteries were charged. The flash was charged. The microphones were charged. Everything was charged. Because we did have a wedding. My sister's getting married at the Little White Chapel the next day.
Whoop, whoop.
Now, mind you, when we do weddings, we always go to the venue beforehand just to kind of see the people, meet the people, get a walk around, get a feel for the place.
Yep.
This place was like any place we've ever been to in our entire lives. And
Wasn't like anything we've
or
ever
wasn't like anything. And that place had 98 weddings in one day. The day that we were doing my sister's wedding there. 98 weddings.
Yep.
Now, normally when we do a wedding, the venue only has one wedding that day.
Yeah.
If not, then two weddings that day. One in the morning, whatever. But most of the time, it's one wedding.
One.
This place had 98 weddings.
Because it was 2/24/24.
Huh.
So we checked it out the day before when we were in Vegas, and they had 48 weddings a day.
It was, yeah.
Like 48 weddings. And then he said, just want to let you guys know, though, tomorrow's going to be insane.
98 weddings.
Yeah. So that was interesting. We also noticed that the famous Elvis that's like shaking his
The Elvis
body,
that's on the sign, on the Little White Chapel sign.
it's not Elvis.
No, it is some other random dude.
With a crook smile. His smile's like,
I think he might even have braces too.
he looked like he like had a bad trip to the dentist.
Yep.
He's like, so we learned that too. That was a side note.
So the first question that I have is, how is it working at a venue knowing that they're having 98 weddings that day?
Beforehand, before we got there, I was kind of a hot mess, like on the drive there, because we did have to drive an hour and a half
Yeah.
back to Vegas on Saturday for the wedding, and I was just racking my brain because we had, what was it, 20 people?
Yeah.
20 people about, and trying to think of how we were going to do family photos in a little area where there's guaranteed to be more brides and grooms.
I'm so sorry. I have to turn the ice machine off.
I didn't even realize it was
I
going.
didn't realize. Hold on. I'll be right back. Go ahead and keep explaining.
It was a bit stressful on the way there because I was just trying to, it's his sister's wedding, so you want to make sure everything is perfect. But I was not sure if that was going to be possible. Once we got there, I think we both went into work mode, and we were going to get a spot for family photos no matter what it took.
Yeah, that's the one thing about that place is that there's no guarantee of any spots anywhere because there are 98 other parties there.
Not at the
Or
same
97
time,
other
but
parties there.
There
But-
was at least, I would say, 15 to 20 other brides and grooms at one time.
Ouch.
So it was a little stressful going into it. Once we got there, I feel like we kind of just like put our tunnel vision on and went to work and made it happen.
I think it was, and I wrote down on here that it's absolute bonkers working at a venue that has 98 weddings happening throughout the day. It's very fast paced. It could be very difficult for photographers or videographers to get certain shots because of the lack thereof of places to take photos or do video, because there are so many people there. So it's,
I think bonkers would be
bonkers is what it was.
Can we talk about what happened after the ceremony, or
What happened after the ceremony?
when we were getting pushed out?
Oh God.
So at this venue, you can either bring in your own photographer and videographer, or
Which, remember, we always say we highly advise going with their preferred vendor if they work at the place or whatever. We recommend against it.
yeah, that's not what you just said. You said we highly advise to do it.
I didn't. Go back. I said we highly advise against it.
I think you forgot the against.
We don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't be dumb, and don't go with the vendor that they have there. You're not going to get quality stuff. The person is literally going to take the photos. Somebody else is going to put them on a computer. They're going to do whatever they want with it because they don't know how to edit photos or anything like that, and they're going to send them out to you, and you're going to regret it.
Well, I just feel like it's also like you don't get any heart in it because it's not somebody that knows you or, you know, knows exactly what style you want. We watched it happen. They literally said, here's your photographer. Hi, nice to meet you. Let's get to work. And it's like, you don't know their personality. You don't know what their dream wedding photos is.
You barely know their names.
Right. You learned it 5 seconds ago. And I can guarantee you they don't remember every name that they shoot.
That's what we were talking about on the way out. I was saying that I don't think we'd be able to do that because we like to actually form a relationship with our clients and stuff. And they're able to message us with certain ideas that they have or questions of any kind that they have. And we're able to answer that. And I feel like with something like that, where you do 98 weddings in one day, it's nearly impossible to form a connection with your bride and your groom or whoever.
So right after the ceremony, we had a couple minutes in our allotted time that we could take more photos in this tunnel of love that his sister got married in. And so we were trying to get all those photos taken care of before our time was up. And all of a sudden,
oh God,
the preferred photographer hired by the thing walks in and says, you have, what was it?
He told us we have 1 minute.
1 minute
right when he
out.
said we have 1 minute, I looked down at my watch and it was 6:26. We still had 4 minutes. Now I know 4 minutes doesn't sound like a lot,
but it's a lot.
But when you only have a very, very short period of time, 4 minutes is a lot.
We can get a lot done in 4 minutes. And he
was trying to force us out.
He said we had 1 minute, and then all of a sudden, he was yelling at all of the guests. All right, you got to go.
Bullshit.
You got to go.
Get out of my way. Go. This guy's crazy.
And so we were trying to get our last photos, and he walks right in front of our cameras and goes, I'll open the door for you.
Bullshit.
And
dude. We should have slapped him.
I was fuming.
People are crazy. I mean, I get it. I know. But
he deals with overtime.
He deals with a lot of people and a lot of different photographers and videographers. Probably whatever. He could have just said it in a better way. And honestly, give us that extra 4 minutes and not try to rush us. It's already fast enough. It's already a very fast-paced environment that we're dealing with. And for somebody to come up and even add a shorter time frame to it, you know, it's stressful.
When it was paid for.
We paid for that time slot.
Yeah. So I don't care. If we were overtime, then I'd understand.
Yeah.
But just because you're the preferred vendor does not mean you get to just
don't go with the preferred vendor. A lot of the time, unless you look at their work and you like their work. If you look at their
work and you love it and you get to speak to them beforehand and you get to form a relationship with them, absolutely do it. But Little White Chapel?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Because we literally watched the introduction.
He didn't go out. By the way, if you get it done there, you're not going to go outside of the Little White Chapel. Like you get the really cool pictures like we did.
With the sign and everything?
We got pictures with the stratosphere. We got pictures of a building that was across the street and stuff. They don't go out. They just stay in their little compound right there, and they do the photos like that. So
don't do it.
Now, if that's what you want, go right ahead, but we highly advise against it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I know we were talking a little fast right there.
Sorry, we get a little passionate.
After we had the ceremony, we did pictures and video and everything. We drove about 40 minutes to the reception. which was actually a really nice place. I liked it. It was literally in the middle of absolute nowhere,
It was in Henderson, Nevada.
like in the mountains, but it was like its own community. It was a really cool place.
We had to like go through a back way.
Yeah, I liked it. I told Tony and Reese that I would live there because it was like that cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool.
But it was a great time, great reception dinner. And then after that, what did we do?
We drove an hour and 30 minutes back to Laughlin.
Oh snap!
Yippee.
That was a long drive.
Long drive.
And it
I
was,
also should mention that Vincent's feet were killing him, for one.
yeah, my shoes are not comfortable.
And Reese, you have to also remember that this wasn't just a job that we were working. This is also his sister's wedding. So we needed to be in some photos too. So I wore a dress and heels. First time ever doing that working. Do I recommend it? No.
Now she did bring Converse.
I did, but
With
not
socks.
during the Little Whitechapel section. I was not going to
No.
put Converse on when we
No.
needed to be in photos.
Yeah.
So I was dying. And then from walking, should I have put them on for the dinner portion?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Did I know?
No.
So me and his sister Marina both walked barefoot from the restaurant to
Yep.
the parking garage. But I just had to add that in because our feet were dying and they were sore the next day too. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Mhm.
So I have a couple of facts before we get into all the question stuff. I have a couple of facts about the Little White Chapel.
Of course you do.
The Little White Chapel opened in 1951. Wow.
Wow.
And has married over 800,000 people. 800,000 people. We talked to the guy the day before the wedding, and he said that on July 7th in 2007, they had over 500 weddings and were open for 24 hours. 500 weddings.
777.
Yeah. But some of the famous people who've gotten married there are Frank Sinatra, Judy Garland, Britney Spears, Demi Moore, Michael Jordan. They all got married there.
J-Lo.
J-Lo
Ben Affleck.
and Usher. He got married there.
Usher.
I know his name is Usher. I just like to say Usher.
Usher.
All right. So the first question.
It was a beautiful wedding.
Oh, yeah. No, it was great.
Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Lutz.
Very much. Congratulations. So.
And then we got back to the hotel, and his siblings had us out until almost 4 a.m.
Yeah, we went to a club.
The duo went to a club.
For those of you who don't know, we're not drinkers. We don't like to drink.
We like to be in bed by 10 o'clock with our cats.
And I like to wake up early. And I like to feel good when I wake up. Not, oh, I have a headache. No, I don't want that. So we don't drink. I did have one drink that night. It was a cranberry vodka, but it tasted a little watered down. Probably was. Whatever. But we still got a drink. I went out with my sisters, which I don't think I've really ever done. That was a lot of fun. We all went out together. Went out to a couple casinos.
It was good bonding time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I don't think, because I know we've hung out with Brittany and Joe, just the 4 of us.
Yeah.
And we've hung out with Marina and Noah, just the 4 of us. But
Yep.
I don't think all of us have ever actually.
No.
And we've never all gone out together.
No.
It was a lot for this duo right here.
I'm sorry, but can you see the camera? Can you see the battery percentage that it's at?
No, you want me to go look?
Yeah, can you go look?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We what are we at?
We're at 18%.
Oh, shh.
All right, we're going to wrap it up. But yes, it was
18%. Okay.
It was great
Well,
bonding
yes,
time.
That's great. Let's get to the
lovely,
questions.
And we're going to get to questions.
Was it difficult only having 15 minutes to capture the ceremony and getting couple shots?
Not as difficult as I thought it was going to be, but yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't ideal. 15 minutes I don't think is ideal, especially when 7 of those minutes were the actual ceremony.
Yeah.
But then it didn't feel like we had that extra time after the fact to get all the couple shots we needed.
Yeah.
And obviously we were rushed by the preferred photographer. So
I don't think it was definitely more difficult than say a regular wedding, but I don't think it was like as bad
impossible.
as you would really think.
Yeah.
Once you get in the zone and once you're behind the camera, you kind of just start going through the
like-
list and getting everything done as fast as you possibly can. And normally at a wedding, we'll like stop, we'll joke around, or whatever. There was none of that. It was just, let's get the photos done, let's get the videos done. Boom, boom. You know,
It's almost like, since we are professionals and we've been through this so many times, it's kind of like our brain goes into autopilot.
yeah.
We don't have time to think. Our brain automatically knows what we need to do, how we're going to get it
Can
done.
I plug in the camera? Will it work?
Maybe.
Okay, so I'm gonna plug it in because I want to make sure that we have enough time to talk. So I'm going to talk as I try to get all of this done. This cord is long enough, so I'm going to try to do that.
Okay, so then would you like to answer my question? Do you think that our brain does go on autopilot?
Oh, 100%.
Because I don't really, I feel like we almost black out to
Yeah.
where we just keep going.
Yeah, no, you just keep going. It's everything happens so fast, and you don't even realize what you're doing. You just know that. How you doing? You just know that you're doing it. And it wasn't until after that my parents and my sisters and stuff, they were saying on how good of a job that we did. We didn't even really know, that. Oh,
We love getting the
time
pra-
flies so fast when you're doing something like that, and it
This
can
is
be,
also the first wedding that we've done for family to where we get to actually speak to them after the wedding's over.
yeah,
And they were like, "You guys are amazing. Like you were doing it.
just
And
knocking it out.
we were like, "Well, yeah, that's our job."
Yeah.
We don't think anything of it, but they were like, "No, it was amazing." I mean, I was laying down in the middle of the floor to
Yeah.
get a shot. Vincent was trying to help me up. We were just we get it done.
I'll be right back. I gotta get a box.
Okay.
Keep on talking.
It's just me now. I just feel like you just get the job done. So was it difficult? It was more difficult than we're used to because weddings, normally we have an hour for couple photos or 2 hours, whatever we need, we usually have. And it just wasn't an option for this venue. But we did get to take many photos outside of the gates. Hi. After our 15 minutes was up. So we made it work. It wasn't impossible.
Okay, I got it. Yes, we did make it work. We got a lot of amazing shots outside of the actual venue itself.
In the middle of the road.
Because you can still get all the signs and like all of that, which is great. Okay, the camera's probably gonna get a little shaky.
Earthquake.
Okay. We
I think it's
charging?
charging.
Yes, sir.
Nice.
Okay, now hopefully that just...
Stays there.
There's
like
so
that.
many wires and stuff. And we're still turning. Okay, good. All
Oh,
right.
welcome to season 2, everybody.
Now we have some time to talk. We'll have to rush through it.
I was just saying that it wasn't as difficult as we expected. And thank God for us being able to do the outside shots. Oh, I also said that we're used to having weddings where we have as much time as we need to get any shots we want.
Yeah,
and it wasn't possible.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Next question. Oops. Okay. Can a beginner photographer or videographer do a wedding at the Little Whitechapel? And if no, what can help prepare them? Do you think that they could? Honest answers.
Honest.
This is a no BS moment.
I think I'm going to relay back to what we were just speaking about, is that it wasn't difficult for us because we are professionals in the field. Because our brain does automatically go into autopilot and we get what we need done. We are also very quick with our craft because of the experience we have. Is it impossible for a beginner to do it? No. Do I think it's going to be easy for them? Absolutely not. I think it could cause somebody to panic with the time constrictions that we did have.
Yeah.
What advice I would give them is, grab some friends and do some practice runs.
The advice that I would have
I would say.
is to lock yourself in your room or your office or your car, wherever, and research as much as possible. Like, say if this was your very first wedding or whatever, lock yourself somewhere and just do as much research as possible on the entire place, on doing even a normal wedding. Take everything that you know about doing a normal wedding and pack it into a room about this big, because that's how big the venue is going to be, and that's how difficult it's going to be.
Yeah.
But just try to consume a lot of information, so that when you get there, you could just knock everything out as fast as possible. There's no time to think; it's just to do.
I would also say to make sure you're skilled in the changing of settings, flash settings, for videography, any settings that you may have, because you don't really have time to think, and
Nope.
it's all by muscle memory. So if you know that your settings need to be changed a little bit, I wasn't even thinking, I was just doing them and like just pushing through.
Yeah.
I do think it's possible. I just think that you need to get as much information as possible in your brain and maybe do some practice runs. I don't know.
Like,
I also think, so sorry.
Go ahead.
I also think it was a little bit more difficult for us than maybe the average person because of the amount of family photos we needed to get through.
A lot.
Because we had 20 people, which I don't think really is the norm for this place.
No.
I think it's like 10 people.
We saw
max.
parties that were, similar in the amount of people that we had, but
I think the average is just the two of you and maybe like 2 friends.
yeah.
So I think that did slow us down a little bit, because we could have taken time before the ceremony to get a lot of the couple photos, but we couldn't because we had a lot of family photos to get through. So if you are new, just beware of that too. Family photos do take time and you want them to be in good lighting.
But don't head to Vegas or Nevada or wherever if you haven't done the research. It's so important to do the research, because if you get there and you didn't do any of the research, you're done. You're screwed. You're gonna mess up big time, and the couple's probably not gonna get what they paid for.
And as we said that we do, I would always recommend you going like the day before and checking out the venue, kind of get a lay of the land, just so that you know what you're getting yourself into, so you're not showing up pretty much blind on the day of.
Yeah, but do the research.
Yes.
Be crazy.
Be prepared.
Be crazy about it. Tell people, hey, I can't come out right now, or I can't do that because I got to research this. They're gonna look at you funny. Who cares?
I have one more piece of advice.
Yeah.
If you are a beginner, or even if you're not a beginner, but you're gonna do your first wedding here, be stern with what you're doing. If you need a spot, if you're there, you're paid by your clients.
There was this one guy. He was standing outside of it. He was a nice guy, but he just kept singing. Okay, what was he singing? What was the hell was he singing?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
He kept singing. Okay, we were trying to do the first look. If it's just photography and you want to sing, go right ahead. I don't want to hear you in the video with the bride and the groom in the background singing when I'm trying to get the audio of them crying or saying sweet things to each other. I don't want to hear you sing. That was one thing that
He was interesting.
He should really go and apply at one of the casinos or something.
He's a great singer,
and do a singing thing there. That'd be great.
I would just say to be stern.
Yes.
If you need a spot, you're paid to be there by your bride and groom.
Yes.
This is the most important day of their life.
Yep.
Be assertive. Don't be scared. What is someone
It's
gonna...
not the time to be nice.
It's not the time to be nice. And I told him and his sister that right when we got there. I said, I will kick people out if I need to.
Yeah, we have to.
I will stand there and stare at them until they leave.
Yeah,
so
you have to.
If you are planning to shoot a wedding there, just be assertive and stern. No Mr. Nice Guy.
And prepare. I can't tell you enough. Prepare.
Yes. Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
What was the biggest challenge of the wedding day and how did we overcome it?
Time. Time was the biggest challenge of the day, but like I said, it's like knowing everything you know about weddings and compacting that into a small room.
Oh, and losing sun.
And dealing with hundreds of people who have no affiliation to the bride and the groom whatsoever. And people just walking and tourists, and all of that. Those are challenges, but it's important to do what you normally do, but configure it in a way where people won't be in the background, or, you won't get audio of people in the background or anything like that. It's just about adapting to your environment.
That's good. I guess that is something I never really thought of, is that this is the first wedding where we had, hundreds of people, or 50 to 100 people that were there at this wedding that had no affiliation to the bride and groom.
Yeah.
there's just a bunch of people walking around that were
Yeah.
getting married themselves. I
Yep.
get so it's odd. It's an odd concept, but I loved it.
yeah. But I would say that's the biggest challenge was time.
And sun.
Time and sun. Because with photography, you can add your own sun. It's called flash. And you can have your own flash. With videography, there's a huge light that's right above right there that I could not bring because there was not enough time to set it up. So I had
a plug-in.
There's light, huh?
Or
a plug-in. So there's lights that are behind us actually, that we bought, and they get really bright and they're good. The only bad thing is the battery dies on them probably within 15 seconds. Okay. Now, right now they're plugged in. That's why they're staying on. If they weren't plugged in, they die. But yeah, time and the sun are two pain in the you know what.
But overall, I think the day went smoothly.
I think
beautifully.
Yeah.
Your sister was a beautiful bride.
Yeah.
Joe looked great. He's a lucky guy.
Yeah.
And all of the little kids looked great. Our nieces and nephews, and
yeah, that was another thing too. Was
oh yeah, that's something good to talk about.
That was another thing too. Is that there's barely any room there. There's hundreds of people there, and it is right on a main road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there's gates, but they're open, so you can just walk right in, and you can't shut them. And so having 3 little babies there running around,
all under the age of 3,
was the most stressful thing. And I was happy when all the family left, and it was just us, Dad, and then my sister and her husband,
your brother-in-law,
my brother-in-law.
That's one thing just to be aware of is if you are going to bring small children, make sure you have eyes on them at all times.
Yeah,
it is Las Vegas too, so just for safety reasons.
Yeah.
I do want to add something because I think it was probably the funniest part of the night. We had my dad as our assistant.
Yeah.
When we say that, we mean he was running back and forth to the car more times than I can count, getting things,
carrying the backpack,
left.
Holding the lights up.
Yeah, he really went all out for us. Okay,
Yeah.
But we were getting back to our hotel in Laughlin that night, and we were supposed to do more photos of the bride and groom with the casinos. And so we told him, we're like, okay, are you ready? Like, are you ready? Part 2 of our job's happening now. Like, welcome to the assistant life. And he laughed. He thought we were kidding. And he was like, wait, are you serious? And we're like, yeah. And he looked at us and he goes, I quit. He's like, I don't know how you guys do it. I cannot do that. Like, I'm done. The bride ended up needing to take her dress off.
It's a lot.
So we didn't continue.
I get it. I mean, some people, it's too much because I don't know. I think you have to see it in order to know. And if you don't see it, you think that photographers or videographers get there, hold the camera up, and click the button.
Yeah.
And that's it. And that's not what it is. And it's a lot of physical and mental, work that you do have to do. But I think when you're actively doing it, it's not as bad. Like you feel
autopilot.
Like you feel on autopilot or almost invincible. That anything could be thrown at you and you can deal with it.
It's when you get home and you take your shoes off
and you knock out for 10 or 12 hours. Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah. Not the night of the wedding because we were out till almost 4. But
yeah, you really are just on autopilot. And you just do it all, and then the next day or whatever, you look through all of the SD cards and you're like, wow.
We did that?
We did this. I can't believe we did that. I forgot we got that shot. So, but yeah, just prepare.
Mm-hmm.
Just prepare. All right. So, the big question that everyone wants to know is, did we get married at the Little Whitechapel this weekend?
No.
Damn.
I would just like to say that is it something that we would do? Yeah. Definitely. Would we ever dream of doing it on the weekend of your sister's wedding?
No.
Absolutely not.
It was a convenience thing, though. It was convenient.
We could have, but
we were already there, but
no, we would never, ever, ever, ever do that. And it's funny because 2 of my 3 parents made bets that we were going to come home and be like, we got married. And I was like, we would never do that.
That would be really funny, though.
I mean, we're going in September, maybe. But on the weekend of your sister's wedding? No.
No, unfortunately, we did not get married. I've asked her multiple times.
Oh, shut it.
She says no every time. Just kidding. I tell our engagement clients that all the time, and they're always like, and then they start laughing because they realize that I was just kidding. But
no comment.
No comment.
We did not get married. This weekend was all about Mr. and Mrs. Lutz.
Yes, sir. And they are officially married. They have their wedding license, and they are married.
How exciting. So congratulations. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. You didn't really have a choice because we're family.
Yes, sir. And I'm glad he
we
did
love
not.
you guys.
I'm glad he did not go with the preferred method. I'm telling you, I got
Me
something
too.
against it. I don't know. I think it was just because of how rude he was to us.
True. So then on Sunday we drove home.
We did.
And came home. And
It's a very long drive. I tell you, I would love to live in Nevada or Arizona. I'd love to live there. Would you live there? What?
Dad, we're filming the podcast. Love you, bye. You had to make a cameo.
I would love to live there. The gas prices are so cheap. I mean, I get it. We pay the California tax here because we got the mountains, we got the desert, and we got the beach. I get it, but
cheap though.
Like for $20 of money, I got 7 gallons of gas.
For $35, we filled up.
For $35, we filled up. That's crazy. $20 gets me like 4 gallons here.
What I enjoyed most about Nevada, yes, the gas prices were nice in Arizona, but what I enjoyed the most about Nevada is the scenery. And just thinking about all the photo shoots that we could do there.
Oh, it's beautiful. They had a whole bunch of Joshua trees just lined up all around there.
My favorite.
Yeah, but we got to stay in California.
Yes.
For now.
We got home, celebrated my papa's birthday, which was on Sunday as well.
Happy birthday,
Happy
69.
Birthday to my papa. We stayed there for about an hour and said, gotta see our cats. Went to bed that night. Vincent slept for 12 hours. I slept for 10.
We did the math. I drove for about 25 hours of driving during the trip. So
from Thursday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Woke up the next morning, had a really big gut feeling that my dad did not go to work.
No, snap.
Tracked him, and he was indeed at home.
Oh, darn.
He drove to work, and then his boss said, go home. So he went home.
Good for him.
And we were lazy.
We were being lazy.
Yesterday. And now we are filming, and
yes,
we're going to get sneak peeks out today to his sister.
We're going to get sneak peeks out. We're going to book a couple more things. We're going to keep going, and we're going to fight for our right
to party.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
So if
it was a very successful weekend.
And if you or anybody that you know are planning on doing a wedding at Little White Chapel,
call us.
We got experience there now. We know how to deal with it. We know how to deal with the crazies, the cool, and we'll
interesting.
We'll get it done. We'll get her done.
Yeah.
So
call us.
How you doing?
We're ready.
Yes.
Just give us like 2 weeks.
So with that, we thank you for watching. If you have made it this far, it's been close to 40 minutes. So if you made it this far, we definitely do appreciate it. We hope we didn't talk your ear off too much. We hope that we were kind of cool, calm, and collective. I know that probably wasn't in certain times, but we thank you for watching, and we will definitely see you next week. Thank you.
We will. Thank you. Viva Las Vegas.
Viva Las Vegas.
There it was.
Brala, say I'm gonna sit my soul. I'm gonna say my... I think I sound just like him.
You know, it's the only song I think that I've ever heard you sing that you actually get the lyrics right.
Viva Las Vegas.
Beautiful.
Do I sound like him?
Sure.
Viva. Okay, we're out.
out like trout.
Mike Trout. Yep.
Uh,
Facts. These are facts.
he looks like a toenail.
Wow.
So-
Okay. With that, we
Thank
thank you,
you.
and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.